All right, Giants Nation, welcome to the shit that New York Giants fans say. If you are from another fan base, you just happen to click on this video, let me explain the Daniel Jones situation to you before we get into this first topic or the first comment from this New York Giants fan. So, how it works is when it comes to Daniel Jones, you're either a Daniel Jones hater or you're a Daniel Jones supporter. Right now, I would say there are more haters than supporters, but the supporters do exist, and it seems like you can't tell them that Daniel Jones is not a perfect quarterback and not have them be upset. And then you got the haters who are obsessed with people who like Daniel Jones and are upset that the New York Giants won't move on from Daniel Jones. And then you got Giants fans who are saying, if you're a Giants fan and you're sane, it's okay to say that you are not a big fan of Daniel Jones, but because you're sane, meaning you're not insane, you're just basically like, hey, I am at the mercy of this organization. So if they want to stay with Daniel Jones, there's nothing I can do about it. That's where I put myself. I'm not high or low on Daniel Jones. I really don't care because I've realized that there are other issues with the New York Giants. And yes, I do have Daniel Jones on my list of issues with the New York Giants. It's just not going to be as high as the haters. Like, this team is not perfect. There are things that we need to fix outside of just the quarterback position. So this first guy basically says that he's happy that management has decided to stick with Daniel Jones and not put a rookie behind the line. The only problem with this comment is it's too early to say that. The draft has not happened yet. So if Drake May, who was my favorite quarterback out of the three, if he happened to fall to the New York Giants, you don't know if they're going to draft him or not. But what if they do draft him? So you can't say they haven't really, decided to go with a rookie yet. In my opinion, I don't see them drafting any of the top three quarterbacks. I honestly feel like if Daniels were to fall, they wouldn't draft Daniels. Like, a lot of people have, gone crazy about this. They're like, what do you mean they wouldn't draft Daniels? I'm like, do you trust the New York Giants to not crush your soul? Imagine seeing Jaden Daniels sitting at pick 6 and the Giants still end up picking Neighbors because they're like, hey, we haven't had a number one wide receiver for years. Like, it's been since Odell Beckham, and Giants fans are okay with this because they don't like the quarterback. Or they just feel like the quarterback should elevate the wide receiver. But no, we need a wide receiver one. So I wouldn't be shocked. But when it comes to putting a rookie behind this line, what you got to understand is you may not like Daniel Jones, but at the end of the day, Daniel Jones is a professional. A rookie can have a higher ceiling than Daniel Jones and still get sacked more behind this line, even though we know he has a better potential because there's things that he has to adjust to at the NFL level. So there's nothing wrong with drafting a rookie and sitting him for a year. Patrick Mahomes did it. What's so special about the New York Giants where you can't draft a quarterback and have him sit for a year next to the quarterback whisperer? I've had people say stuff like, oh, well, if they do that and Daniel Jones performs bad, then Dable's going to get fired and Joe Schoen's going to get fired. How do you know that? Are you a friend of John Mara? Do you work for the organization? You don't know that. So realistically, sometimes it's good to have an opinion, but we need to stop pretending like our opinion is like they're facts. It's your opinion. And personally, I still think we should draft the quarterback because, I get that we have Tommy DeVito and we could go out there and get a free agent, but if they like somebody like a Bo Nix, I have no problem with the Giants drafting that person in the second round. I still think that we should get a wide receiver one. 7 years is too long, guys. It'd be nice to have something to be excited about, especially since we might lose Barkley. Let's get the Yak Master Neighbors, or let's get the contested catch wide receiver in Rome. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. You can still draft offensive line in round 2 if you want to do that as the Giants organization. But yeah, the rookie quarterback behind this line, I don't like it. I feel like you don't need to start them week 1. It doesn't mean that they won't start next season if something were to go wrong with Daniel Jones or if he's playing bad, but you definitely start the season with Daniel Jones. I don't know why you people think that we're going to pay him, have buyer's remorse and not play him, and then just trade him with him not playing. Like, it doesn't work like that. You play him, he plays well. Somebody wants to trade for him, great. If they want to keep him, we don't have no control over that. We're not a part of management. So if they want to keep him, you can't do nothing about it. They want to cut him next season. You can't do nothing about it. We're not a part of management. So from Daniel Jones lover to Daniel Jones hater, this guy literally wakes up every morning and the first thing he says is F Daniel Jones. I promise you, I've never seen anything somewhat positive about Daniel Jones from this guy. And it's always, I hate Daniel Jones. My guy says, please sign Barkley or draft a quarterback. Nobody wants to see Daniel Jones without Barkley. I don't have the stomach for it. Well, here's the problem. I don't know if Barkley is going to come back. He's already flirting with San Diego. And honestly, I want the best for Barkley. I kind of felt like Barkley should have been traded so we can get some assets for Barkley, which is crazy to say because he's my favorite player on the team. But I feel like we haven't done right by him. We're wasting his prime. Like, I don't see a scenario where Barkley stays with this team and he wins a Super Bowl, and it's not because of Barkley and that Barkley's not good. It's not that. It's just like, even if we go and change the quarterback this draft and we draft Caleb, the dress wearer, the next Patrick Mahomes, the Giants still have so much to do to be a competitive team and to be where the 49ers are. So who knows how long that's going to take, and he might be out of his prime by the time that the Giants are as good as the 49ers. And so, in my opinion, I have no issue with Saquon Barkley leaving to a better situation if it gets him closer to the Super Bowl, especially outside of our division. So I get that you're thinking to yourself, like, I don't want to see Daniel Jones with this group because we saw it in weeks 3 to 5 and it didn't look good. But I highly doubt that we're going to have Evan Neal and Josh Azudo at right tackle, or that the line's going to be as bad as it was this previous season. And also there's a strong chance we're going to draft the Yak Master, aka Neighbors, or the contested catch wide receiver in Rome, because if we can get a solid line with a true number 1 receiver, I know a lot of you guys are retarded and you think that the quarterback should make Hyatt and Wandell into wide receiver 1s because that's what a superstar quarterback will do. But it doesn't seem to be working out well for Trevor Lawrence. Remember, he was the next generational talent. That doesn't look good. I know you guys only think about CJ Stroud and you think that every quarterback that could play for the New York Giants that's a rookie, if you just put him in there, he can be the next CJ Stroud. But that's just not how the NFL works. Houston plays in a different division. Competition is different. They don't play the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles. So can't really look at Houston and say, look at Houston, we could be the next Houston. No, we can't. That's not how it works. So I don't know if Barkley leaves. We're just going to have to get a true number 1 wide receiver. It's been 7 years, guys. The last good wide receiver you've seen out there, and I'm talking about really good, is Odell Beckham. It wasn't Galladay. Daniel Jones didn't do anything to Kenny Galladay. He just sucks. And I'll tell his cousin that because I work with his cousin. He sucks. Tate was on his way out. So if you thought Tate was a wide receiver 1, you're an idiot. He was on his way out. So you haven't had a wide receiver 1 in years, guys. You draft the wide receiver 1 here. You let Barkley go to a new team. Free Barkley. Now, this last fan, also not a fan of Daniel Jones, but that's not really the issue here. You look at the graphic and you see the win-loss over the last 10 years and you're disgusted by it because we're at the very bottom. Now, how you feel about this is depending on how you feel about quarterbacks. Do you feel like quarterbacks are the only thing that win games? If you have a good quarterback, then you win. Because if you look at the last 3 teams, they haven't really had good quarterbacks, unless, of course, you feel like Justin Fields is a good quarterback. But then if you feel like Justin Fields is a good quarterback, then what's the issue? Maybe you say, oh, well, their offense suck, or, the defense has been inconsistent. Giants fans have been known to make excuses for other quarterbacks that are also in similar situations as Daniel Jones, but because the owner isn't really super friendly with them, they don't get the Daniel Jones support. Like, a lot of people are just like, hey man, this team sucks and Daniel Jones is not helping, which is true. I really don't think that Daniel Jones is the type of quarterback that's going to put the team on his back, because this team is very heavy. You have no wide receiver 1 and you have a defense that is sometimes good. It's a very inconsistent defense. Like, if you had somebody look at the Giants from the outside and not be a Giants fanboy, whether good or bad, they would tell you that there were years where the offense was decent and the defense was bad, or the defense was good and the offense was just decent. And so we've never had it all together. But one of the biggest problems, regardless of if you like the quarterback or not, is we've consistently had bad offensive lines. I remember Eli Manning being in the fetal position, and because most fans only look at the quarterback, they blame the quarterback. Again, the New York Giants fan base, I'm not saying all of us did, but a lot of you guys ran Eli Manning out of town. You guys are saying he was no longer good and he was no longer elite. And I understand that as you get older, you don't get better in most cases. But Giants fans were shitting on Eli Manning before Daniel Jones came in. So this Daniel Jones situation isn't unique. You knew what you were getting with Daniel Jones. You got a quarterback from Duke. You failed to give him a wide receiver one. You failed to build a team around him per se. And so you're not going to get wins off the strength of Daniel Jones. You know where he came from as a QB. Just look at his win-loss record for Monday. He's not going to drag this team to wins because this team is not good overall, guys. I hate to tell us this, but that's the facts. Change the quarterback. Get a really good quarterback. The Giants will still lose if they make bad decisions. But Giants Nation, tell me what you think. Tell me which takes you agree with. Give me some feedback in the comment section and subscribe.